everyone. Welcome back to another episode of Tech This Week. My name is Abdullah. Today, we have somewhat of a breaking story. So, for many of you who are in the know, Koo, which is a microblogging platform, shut down recently, right? Uh, like I said, many of you are aware of the story. For those who are not, the Koo is essentially it was an Indian microblogging platform which was created back in 2020, and it was expected to be a rival of X, which is now earlier it was called Twitter, now it's called X, right? And the social media network actually gained significant popularity in 2021, and this was as an outcome of the Indian government had a scuffle with Twitter because X did not want to remove some of the content that was there, and so on and so forth. In fact, at its peak, we are given to believe that Teal had almost 2.1 million daily active users, and it claimed that it was just a few months away from beating Twitter in India, actually in 2022. But the story is, unfortunately for Teal, that it had to shut down. So what happened, right? So despite raising $66 million of funding and a peak valuation of close to $275 million odd dollars, the company failed to secure long-term funding, right? And additionally, Koo struggled to keep up with global competition, especially the likes of X. So despite initial traction, long story short, they could not retain the user base or scale their operation. Now there could be multiple reasons why this could happen. Some came to my mind, and I just thought of sharing this with you. 5 key imperatives that are required for company to succeed. Like, these are my personal take. First, I think it's very important to understand how do I balance innovation with execution. I believe success doesn't always hinge on just groundbreaking innovation. Sometimes the one who copies can become very successful, and there's so many examples like that. In fact, I'll give you one example, not affiliated with the tech sector. Think about Pepsi and Coca-Cola as brands. Pepsi did not invent Coca-Cola as a category, right? But they have successfully thrived by effectively marketing a very similar product and ensuring that it was able to create a niche of its own, right? So Coca also tried to emulate Twitter, but it was just not about copying alone, right? It's how effortlessly and seamlessly you're able to execute and serve your customer. That's why it's a balance between innovation and execution. So I think if you look at it, success depends on how well you understand your customer needs and how effectively you're able to serve them, right? Second, importantly, you have to stay true to your core, right? Coke is a very famous brand, as we all know. But that's where it becomes a paradox. People say you keep on innovating. Coke's recipe, and this is one of the biggest secrets in the world. Nobody knows what goes behind the Coke recipe. And Coke would do everything in the world but ever tinker around with their famous recipe, right? So, but they did innovate. They innovated with concepts like Diet Coke, and they came with multiple other offerings. Some of them which were different product categories on its own, some which catered to health-conscious consumers, so on and so forth. So Koo needed a strong core offering to differentiate itself and provide unique value to its users. Vis-a-vis, it's obviously more eminent competition, which is Twitter. But for the platform, unfortunately, in its focus to become another Twitter, failed to create a unique value proposition, and consequently failed to create an identity of its own in the market. Third, I think very importantly, I think the success of an organization to a very large extent depends on how relevant you are to stay on the top. Relevance to the market that you're currently serving. So, for instance, I'll again give the example of Coca-Cola. Coca-Cola is unarguably or arguably one of the top few brands in the world, right? Does it struggle with brand recall? Obviously not. Everyone knows Coca-Cola as a brand, right? However, have you thought of it? If it happens to be the number one brand in the world, why do they spend so much money on marketing advertising? And I think there's only one reason for that: to stay relevant. The Coca-Cola was consumed by our by it continues to be consumed by our parents, and probably was consumed by their parents as well. But how you reach out to a different set of customers with the same product? I mean, I think Coke is a great example for that. Or this product category, like I said. So a lot of companies actually have failed to be in tune with the evolving marketing needs. And I can give you a dozen examples of that. So if you see, Twitter actually continues to focus on adapting to its evolving customer needs. They have new uh, solutions like Spaces, lists, grog, etc. So who actually could keep pace with the changing social media landscape? And you have to understand, having stickiness in the social media world is not easy. And it's a little tricky because it takes a lot of effort to understand how a platform can stay relevant while everything around keeps on changing. Because, for instance, Facebook was meant for a generation, say 20 years back. Now the current crop of Facebook users, while they continue to be the guys who are the current base of users, but what about the millennial Gen Z? Do they find Facebook as their number one choice of social media platform? Probably not. They find, microblogging or instant gratification platforms like TikTok, Instagram, Threads to be more attuned to their liking, right? The fourth point, again an important point, is that of customer centricity. The modern customer is bombarded with new products and services every day. So there's a plethora of choices for them to pick, right? I'll give you an example. The collapse of edtech sector is a testament to the fact that if customers don't see value in a product, neither will the investor. I give this example of Facebook has witnessed this challenge with newer generations shifting away to other platforms, right? So it's important, to understand that how do I ensure that I keep on sustain and attract new set of customers or users, and if there is inadequacy in that, there will be a disconnect with user needs and market expectations. And finally, but very importantly, understand what is the rights and wrongs of the business. Twitter did not succeed because it knew what to do, but it succeeded because it also knew what to avoid doing. You have to understand this. So any company that's on top gets constant criticism. Therefore, there's a pressure on those at the top to always get it right. So Cook, despite its prominent start, could navigate the complexities of surviving in the market, which demands a thorough understanding of what works and what would not. So, like I said, I think I am not trying to criticize who for trying to ape Twitter. I think I said it right at the beginning. The idea is not to promote just innovation. There are several examples of companies that have innovated another and become more successful. You think of Google, Pepsi, Facebook are classic examples. You can still succeed even if you're not the first entry in the market. Second, in conclusion, there's so many stories that illustrate that you can enter a crowded market and still dominate if you understand the customers deeply, innovate around their needs, and execute your vision flawlessly. Right? The formula of success isn't confined to being the first to innovate or disrupt the industry. Rather, it is the understanding that success is not a one-time achievement, but a continuous journey. Right? That's it from my end. I thought it's an interesting story. A lot to mull over, think through. Would love to hear from you through your comments. Or if you want to reach out to me in person, it will be lovely to hear from you. That's it from my end. Have a wonderful weekend. Bye.